Hi guys, Angie Bells, my fairy treasures. Okay, we're back. We're doing some more art cards. And the art cards are going to be, I'm going to make a copies of all the art cards I make. And then they'll be laminated and then individually cut. And they're going to be put into, we're making stuffed envelopes. And these are for Christmas gifts for some of my crafty friends. So this is the stuffed envelope. Isn't this fun? And we made these. These are in a video below. I'll try to make sure I put an iCard above. It's just an iCard. It's nothing but a little eye in the corner. If you hit on that, then you'll get this video. Okay? And it shows you how to make these, how to make the actual envelopes out of file folders, and then how to do the mixed media on them. Okay? And then you can stuff them full of goodies and give them away for Christmas gifts. I think that's a really fun, fabulous thing to do. So, I'm excited. I just made these in my last video, which are really different than the ones we're going to make today. These are some more art cards that I made, so we'll just go through them really quickly. I think they came out really, really nice. I was going to have these all laminated up for you and all cut apart, but I just haven't done that yet. So once I do get them all laminated, I'll just do a quick video to show you guys. Okay, and that one goes like that. I do still need to go around and put the edging on them. Either Stabilo or maybe Tim Holtz Distress ink. I still have to do that on these. So we'll do that. Okay, now the ones we're going to make today are going to be ones that were, let me come in a little bit, are ones that I did some jelly printing on. I'm trying to think if I want to do a card. You know what? Never mind. I'll do an iCard, that little eye in the corner, for when I jelly printed these cards, because that's going to be a better video for you to watch. For how I did the base for these cards. I did them on a jelly plate. If you want the video for these art cards, it's just a video below this one. Okay. So this is how I'm going to finish some of these off. This doesn't have any collage on it. It has some stamping on it, which I think came out really, really cool. Let me see if I need to come up any closer. This is all just stamping. And maybe some distress ink. This is all stamping and some distress ink, which I think came out really cool. In fact, I think I stamped this bingo card onto some, what do you call it? Pattern paper. And then did some stamping on it and some distress inking. This is some distress inking. It's a lot of ink through stencils, which we're going to do today, and stamping and a lot of things. It's stamping, distressed ink through stencils, and then some intuitive writing, which I did right there. I'm glad I said that, so I can get my pen out for intuitive writing, because I didn't even think. And I'll tell you guys what intuitive writing is as we go along. We'll use that. Just a second. I'm looking for a pen that I like to do intuitive writing with. That one will work. I have one I like better, but that one will work. You know, you can never find all the things you want to find when you want to find them. Okay. That'll work. Okay. Here's another one. And this time after I did the background with stenciling with distressed inks, which is a really neat technique to stencil with distressed ink, not stenciling with acrylic paint. So this is going to be fun. And then I did a collage bit there. So I did some stuff in the background, and then I did another collage of some really cool little stuff there. Some Native American, a Native woman with a Native child. And some other bits that I collaged together. I really love this. This is a Native man, and so it looks like half Native man and half machine. Maybe that war against both, you know, like the war against man and nature, or between nature and what should I say? And machine. The war between man and machine. That's what it kind of reminded me of. Some more. So these are the kind of cards we're going to make. Okay, so I already have these cards made. I worked on these a while back. This is that intuitive writing that I love to do. Okay, and we'll talk about that intuitive writing. So those are ones that I've already made. So let's work on one right now. I like this one right here. Okay, there we go. The first thing I see here is that I would like to add a little bit more of the turquoisey and the brown color. So, let me get wild honey. I'm going to use these, some of these also. Vintage photo. I need a teal one. Just a second, guys. Walnut. Pink. I should have grabbed these already, but I didn't. Sorry. Rusty hinges. Okay, let me grab a new one of these. What these are is you can get them at Dollar Tree right now, and they're called foundation brushes. And they have a second shipment in now. They sold out really quickly the first time. I'm sure they're going to sell out really quickly the second time. So in the makeup section, if you can find these and you use any type of Tim Holtz Distress inks, or you use any chalk pastels or anything like that, these are great for that. So you're going to want to pick them up. Again, there's the packaging. Okay. And I probably picked about 15 of these. Love them. Okay, so I want to add a little rusty hinges right here. Hello. Hopefully I have rusty hinges. I pulled a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I have it. So I'm going to use my distressed inks. And this is rusty hinges. So I'm going to throw a little bit of rusty hinges. And this is just to fill in a little bit. These were index cards. See? Put on the Gelli plate. And sometimes you don't get right up to the edges. And you don't need to. You could have it where you have white edges, which would be fine too. But I want to fill in. I'm going to fill in really simply with the distressed inks. For that turquoisey color or whatever, bluish turquoisey, I'm going to use this one, which is distressed ink. Now, let's suppose you don't have any of these inks. I always tell you, if you have acrylic paint, you can do anything. So you can just take some acrylic paint. Let me see if I have one for tumbled. I don't think I do. You can just take some acrylic paint and a baby wipe, and just take the baby wipe into some acrylic paint and just go like that, and you get the same effect. But I have all of these distressed inks, so every chance I get to use them, I do. And hopefully this isn't dried out. Oh, I'm going to be so sad. Is this dried out? Just a second, guys. Let me test this on something else. Oh my gosh. I think this tumbled glass is dried out. I've never had one of these dry out on me. That's weird. Okay, let me see if I can mist it and see what misting does to it. Nothing like making a video to find out things. I've had some of them for most of these actually for a really long time. Yeah, it's dried out, you guys. Okay. I'll see if there's something, I'm going to look this up and see if there's anything you can do about your distressed inks if they've dried out, because I haven't used it enough to have used it all up, I don't think. But something else I have, this is another thing. I could just pull out a tealish color acrylic paint, but I also have something called Distress Stain. It's the same one. Is this tumbled? Oh, this is tumbled glass. This is broken china. So, let's use this. And what I like about Distress Stain, it's like an ink, and you can see through it. Ooh, a lot goes on at one time. Cool. All right. What I like about it too, it has the effect where you can still see through it. It's not, it wouldn't cover it up like just if I took acrylic paint straight from the bottle right onto here. You can still see through many layers. It doesn't give complete coverage. You can see through it. So it's translucent, which is what you want, in my opinion. Oh, I like that. Okay, that looks good. But like I said, I could have taken acrylic paint with a baby wipe and got the translucent look. But if you don't use the baby wipe with the acrylic paint, it's just going to be, you know, it's just going to completely cover your design. You still want to see things. Also, I'm just reactivating this a little bit because I really want to just blend it out a little bit. There we go. There we go. So now all of our little white space is gone. That trips me out about this tumbled glass. But I have had that. You guys, I probably had that for 7 years. 7 or 8 years. So, the fact that it's, if it is dried out, I can see it happening. Okay, to replace that, I have this dye ink pad. Seaside Foam. We're going to use that. In replace of that. All right, so next thing, what do we want to do? Let's do some, just a little bit of stenciling, just to add a little something to the background. And all we're doing now is just adding interest. You know, right over this tealish area, let's just add a little bit of this teal stencil. Something that's really interesting is to take a makeup sponge and use an ink pad and do it through a stencil. It gives a different effect, and I really like it. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, cool. Now, it really looks like it's in the background. Do you see that? Which is awesome, which is exactly what I want it to look like. I'm going to take just a little bit of the stencil. And it's just like these little things to add more interest to what's already going on. Let's see if we can come in a little closer. I don't want to come in too close because then you can easily get out of frame and then you can start seeing what's going on. Okay. Actually, keep those right there. All right. I almost have too many things everywhere. Next, let me see if there's anything else I want to put on here. You know what, let's take, hopefully you guys don't fall. I just went right behind the camera. This is called Sepia. It's an archival ink. Let's do some of that through the stencil. Don't want to do a different stencil? Let's do a different stencil. Let's do it through this Punchinella. This is what you get once you've punched out sequence. It's left with this stuff. All these little circles, so they call it Punchinella. You can buy it on, I bought mine on eBay. It's like $4 or $5 and they give you like tons of it. In fact, I need to throw some of it in a giveaway. When I do my giveaway packets for my mixed media, I need to throw those in there. Cool. Oh, that's cool. Now, I don't know if you guys are able to see that or not, but it just put a couple little circles down there. And yes, you get a different effect using an ink pad with a makeup sponge than you get with using this thing. So you could do either one. But I really, for what I'm doing through the stencil, I really like this look. And it's a whole nother look if you were to use acrylic paint through this. Cool. So it's just adding a little bit of this and a little bit of that there. I really like it. All right, now we're going to use this one, and we may use a little bit of acrylic paint. We may not. We may just, it depends about how well I get this to show up. I'm using the Black Ranger ink pad. And I love these stencils. These are Andy Skinner stencils. Aren't those cool? They look very Tim Holtzy, but they're Andy Skinner. And I'm sure if you Google, you can get these anywhere that sells Andy Skinner stencils. Okay, there's this little 1812 right there. I'm just going to put that down in the corner. I just think it looks cool. And this is all just really intuitive. It's just this whole project is intuitive. It's intuitive, you know, from the very beginning when I chose these. I put these colors together to do the jelly printing. It's intuitive to come back and to add to it. Yeah, look how perfect that looks. That 1812. Perfect. See? Love that. And let's put that 1812 again up here in the corner. Okay, that looks cool. There's this little 15 right here, so I'm just going to throw that in a few spots. And with all of the with the collaging that we're going to do on top of here, some of this may get covered up, some of it may not get covered up. Who knows? But if it doesn't get covered up, it's going to look cool. Make sure I'm still in frame. Yeah. And then it looks cool, as you guys already know, just to have little bits peeking out if something does get covered up. Do I want to do that? Nah, I don't. Okay, so I'm just going to leave, well, you know what, actually, we might do some stamping. I got some stamps behind me. Yes, I love these stamps. Okay, this stamp is so cool. It's like a little spool stamp. I don't know if you guys can even see that because it's such an old stamp. This is one of the very first stamps I bought. It looks very Tim Holtz, and I don't know if it is Tim Holtz. Maybe it might be Tim Holtz, but it was from, like, God, 8 years ago. And it's still one of my favorites. That's what it looks like. Isn't that cool? So let's do some of that on here. You could do cool stuff like I'm doing right now. And, with stamping, and not even put collage over this, and just leave it when you're done. That could be really cool too. But we are going to collage over a lot of this. Okay, and I'm not always worried about getting the entire stamp. That's what kind of makes it look different. It's just to maybe do only a corner of the stamp like that. Love it. And the other stamp I'm going to do on here is this one right here. It's a little watch piece. I think this is Tim Holtz for sure. I got this in a package of a bunch of other stuff not too long ago. Cool. Whenever I can find watches, clock faces, I get them. I love a clock face or stamp. Cool. And I'm kind of keeping my stamping and my design on the outskirts because I know for sure that's going to show up there. Love that. Okay. Very cool. Let's get a paper towel real quick. Do I love this glass mat? I'm obsessed. And the only thing I'm sorry about is I didn't get it sooner. I got this glass mat, you guys, HSN, for only 20 bucks. And I forgot what brand this in. Oh, so it says it right here. It's Crafter's Companion. Now, they have the Tim Holtz one. That was about 40. And this one was just about the same size. Just a tad bit smaller, but not much, as the Tim Holtz. And I thought, well, let me try this one for 20. I absolutely love it. So, I'm sure the Tim Holtz one's great too. I just didn't know if I wanted to spend an extra 40 or not. And now I'm glad I didn't because I love this one. So, okay. Let me see if I want to do anything else on here. I think we're done. We might throw... Should I throw a few crosses on here? Let me take my gold pen and just do a little bit of... oh yeah, that looks cool. And just do a little bit of mark making. Just some little gold crosses. Just because I can. There's no rhyme or reason for any of this. It's just because you can, and it's cool. I'm gonna throw in some little hashtags here and there. Okay. I think that's all I'll do on there, because you can keep going. You can just keep on going as much as you want. So there we go. That's what I did there. Okay. Let's throw some collage bits on here now. We got a nice background going. Let's decide. I have a bunch of collage bits that I've already cut out and kind of pre-collaged together. So I'm just looking to see what's going to look best with this. And I think that this might look the best. This is a picture, let me show you, a picture of some cocopellis, which I love. I need to draw cocopellis. I'm going to. Cocopellis and a native pot and some native little girls. Aren't they so sweet? I love the native culture. I love African culture. So my house is decorated very native and decorated also with a lot of African influence too. So I mix those two together. It's very ethnic and I like it. So I think I'm going to collage these two together. I think I'm going to do it like that because I like that 1812 showing right there. Okay. All right. So let's get our glue out. Trying to see where I can put these at. I'll just put them back in the jar. Well, I don't want to put these back in the jar because then I have to get them back out again. All right. Found a place for them. Let's work on this magazine with the glue. I'm using this glue stick I got from, believe it or not, Dollar Tree or when they sell, they do the back to school stuff, they have this brand. It's called Avery, I think. Yeah, Avery glue stick. Someone on YouTube was talking about it and said it is an excellent, excellent glue stick. And you know what? I've been gluing things down with this glue stick. I don't have any problems with things coming up. It's a really good glue stick. Only one comes in a pack, and they're excellent. I bought 2 of them, so I'm probably good for the year. And I will buy myself, 2, 3, 4 more when it's this back to school season again, because they are fabulous. Okay. So you guys always be looking, like going through magazines. It doesn't matter what magazine it is. Just always be going through magazines, finding things that you can use in your collages, whether it's for art cards or collage work that you want to work on. I need to rip this a little bit. It has a white line, and I don't like the white line. I want it to look a little bit more ripped. Right there. Okay. I think the native people of this country, they should be celebrated, and I love to use different elements and different pictures in my art. So, and the reason I call them natives is because I was watching a show and a documentary, and they don't like to even be called Native American. They just like to be called natives. So, because they were the first ones who were here. It was their country originally. So they like to call natives and not Native Americans even. So I like to be respectful. So that's why I say natives. Doesn't that look cool? Okay, let's even make it look more cool. You guys, in about 3 minutes, my camera is going to start a new video. So just go on to part 2, okay? I got to get my Stabilo out. Where is all my stuff at? Is it in here? No. There it is. All right, hopefully I don't hit this camera because where I'm at is behind the camera. So nothing falls and hits it, and there we go. All right, let's get our Stabilo out. You can use a watercolor pencil. You can use a water-soluble crayons, charcoal pencil to do what I'm going to do. Let's put this back. And I'm just going to go around the image and then just give it some shading. Okay, wet my finger with a little bit of get your finger wet a little bit and just go around, blend that out. And if you guys don't have a Stabilo, like I said, a black watercolor pencil works just as good as a Stabilo, because that's what I used to use instead of the Stabilo until I finally got one as a gift from Rose. Thank you, girl. And the reason I like to use this instead of the water-soluble crayon is because you could still do it with the water-soluble crayons, but it's harder to get right around the image. So, and then I'm also going to go ahead and smoke out the edges right now, so they don't have to do that later. Because like on my other ones that I did the other day, I didn't shade around the edges. But we will right now. I better be on camera. Yeah, I am. Okay, so now we're just giving some nice shading and some nice framing to the outside of the whole card. Love it. Okay. Ooh, sorry about that. That sounded horrible. I think that looks awesome. You know what? I just feel like adding to this card, and I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna fret. Some people make fun of me. I always say, don't fret, don't fret. Which means don't worry about every little decision. I feel like adding some red. And red has nothing to do with this whole thing, does it? But just to give a little bit of a pop, I'm going to add some, oh, I love it already. Some red crosses, because I love crosses. Yep, love it. It was just that little pop. I absolutely love that. Okay. Some people may feel like, oh, she ruined it, but I like it. I like it. Okay. Okay, so let's work on another one. These take a little bit of time, so I kind of feel like we'll probably only get 2 done. One in this video and one in part 2. So, which is fine. Which is fine. Just a second. These are all the ones I already had done. Put that there. Okay. Oh, there we go. I was looking for the ones that I need to still do. They're right here. So we need to choose another card. Oh, let's do a quickie. One that's a quickie is this one. Okay, where is the card? Those are all done. Just a second, guys. Sorry. That's weird. I had pulled a card. I feel like I'm missing it now. How strange. Oh, there it is. Okay. This one right here. I have not shown you guys how I do these. This is that intuitive writing. And I learned about it. Oh, I always forget her name. I'll try to link her below. And she